At a time when I was meant to be celebrating the success of the business, the financial freedom, the location freedom that I'd genuinely achieved, yet I also realized simultaneously I was trapped, I was stuck. Now we had more leads than ever, more calls being booked by the setter than ever. I was busier than ever. I wanted more. I wanted to make more of an impact. I wanted to reach more people. And I genuinely believed, as naive as it is when I look back now, that I could change the fitness world. And I'm not going to tell you to grow a sales team. I'm not even going to tell you to hire a closer. I was stuck. I had to do the sales calls. If I didn't do the sales calls, new business would not come through. We wouldn't be able to take people on. Alright guys, this is a bit of a different video where I want to share with you a story of when I realized that I was trapped in my own business. At a time when I was meant to be celebrating the success of the business, the financial freedom, the location freedom that I'd genuinely achieved, yet I also realized simultaneously I was trapped, I was stuck. And yeah, I'm going to tell you the story, right? So at the time, I'd achieved financial freedom. First of all, with myself in the coaching business, I was in the fitness space, and I'd finally broke past not just 10k a month, not just 20k a month, but we grew beyond that, just me delivering the service, handling the whole business, right? And at that point, I must have been 22 years old, 23 maybe, and I wanted more. Not in terms of financials. It wasn't that was driving me, because it was extremely profitable and I was making more money than I knew what to do with. But I wanted more. I wanted to make more of an impact. I wanted to reach more people. And I genuinely believed, as naive as it is when I look back now, that I could change the fitness world. I believed I had the solution that everyone needed. I believed the way we coached was truly different in terms of the results we produced. And as a service, it was unbelievable. We dominated our local area in South Wales. We were the go-to people, the premium people, PB Academy of who to work with. And we generally made that happen. So I hired more coaches. We delivered to more people. We grew to over 250 plus active clients. And I was able to delegate every single part of my business to become a true CEO of that business, and run the business and grow the business. But there was one thing I could not delegate, one thing that I was stuck in. And this is when I realized it. So again, being naive, I'd never managed a team before, especially when I was the owner of the business. So I paid for our whole team to go to Marbella 3 times, Dubai for 10 days as a celebration of the goals that we'd hit and the targets that we'd hit. And you may relate to this as a business owner, as a founder of a service business online, whether it's a coach, you're a consultant, you're an agency owner. You deliver a great service, you're delegating parts of that, bringing in better people to deliver each part of that service, and you're scaling the business, right? But what do you really struggle to delegate? Especially if you're the face of the business, if you attract people through content online, people want to speak to you. You're the go-to guy, you're the go-to girl. You have to get on that call, that sales call. And unless you've managed to find a way to delegate that completely, hire and grow a sales team, and still achieve a really good close rate, then I'm not speaking to you people. I'm speaking to the people that haven't figured out that system yet. And I'm not going to tell you to grow a sales team. I'm not even going to tell you to hire a closer. I'm going to tell you what I did to solve it. Back to the story. So I remember, first of all, it happened in Marbella, when again, achieved financial freedom, living and working from anywhere. Location freedom, living and working from anywhere. Financial freedom, more money than I knew what to do with, and the business was growing, highly profitable. But I was the one that had to work while we were away. Everyone else in our team could work it as a job, where they do the tasks, they tick the tasks off, and job be done, right? They didn't need to work while they were away. But I was stuck. I had to do the sales calls. If I didn't do the sales calls, new business would not come through. We wouldn't be able to take people on. I was a key part in that process. I want to walk you through this quickly. Okay, so just to show you, this is what you probably already know as a business owner. I am not going to tell you how to run your business, right? But just for visual sake. You've got a service business, yeah? So we write our service. And how does that work? You get leads through, and I'm assuming you get leads through, this is like basically top of funnel, and you get it through social media or ads. And then they come down. You've probably got either a funnel, which does this on autopilot, or you've got a setter, right? Right? And then they come through to a call, which is sales. And then they go through onboarding, and then you've got delivery. Yeah. Now, the mad thing, oh my God, that's delivery, right? It's meant to be delivery anyway. Every single part of this process can be delegated, and it can be brought in so someone else does that. Now, for me, with the fitness service, and this is the last thing I find most people I speak to find hardest to delegate is the sales call. It is this part here. But I had successfully delegated onboarding. I delegated delivery with coaches we brought in to deliver the service. We built the whole system. We productized the service, even though it was extremely customized. We had SOPs for everything. It was all built out, and the service was being delivered, and we were getting more and more results, more than ever, right? And this was just feeding into this hamster wheel of bringing in more leads through social media. We didn't need ads. We literally done it all organically. We had a setter, so I'd brought in a setter, so that was done. So job done there. They were booking calls, more calls than ever, which meant that now we had more leads than ever, more calls being booked by the setter than ever. I was busier than ever, right? I struggled to get rid of that process. I won't talk about why, because this model itself with PB Academy, we scaled to over 250 active clients. It was great. It was successful, and we scaled well beyond 30K a month. But the problem was that the margins weren't there. I won't talk about the specifics for this model. It's a different video. The margins weren't there in this model for me to be able to hire a world-class closer, a salesperson that demanded a lot of money. They're money hungry. They're salespeople. They wanted 10% plus, which is what a good sales closer should be paid. But I couldn't do that in this business, right? Because the margins just weren't there. So what did I do instead? I was stuck in this position of, right, I can't hire a closer. I can't build out a sales team. So what can I actually do? And what I did was I looked at the sales process. And when you look at the sales process, it's split into three parts, right? You've got the discover, and then you've got the pitch, and then you've got the close, which is what was happening. Now, I love the discovery. The discovery it's the consultation call. It's the discovery call. It's when you're genuinely getting on a call with someone you want to speak to, you know you can help. You find out way more about their life. What are the actual problems? What are the specific problems? How can we solve them with our service? And then eventually, when you know everything you need to know about them, you know they're a good fit. They know you're a good fit for them to solve their problems. They agree that you can solve their problems. You pitch the service, and then they're happy, no questions, they close, right? Sometimes you face objections, but very rarely, because we had a very good pitch put together. But I was repeating that over and over again, and it was a massive chunk of the call. So this pitch itself was about 10, 15, 20 minutes long. What I did was I looked at everything I was covering all of the time, and I built out a welcome pack VSL. Now again, I'm not going to use this video to go into the depth of detail of why we delivered that, how we built this professional pitch, how we built it as a slide deck. We presented it to them. It was very nice, and we moved it to the start of the call. So we actually moved it. So we removed it from here. We removed the pitch. We moved it up before. So the setter would actually deliver the welcome VSL, right? And this would remove the pitch entirely from the call. And our prospects, every single person I spoke to was already sold on the call, right? They obviously didn't reveal prices, nothing like that. So they turned up to the call because they were interested, they wanted to learn more, but they were totally value driven, value focused. But they knew already what we did, how we could help, why they needed to start. The urgency was there, and it was just a far more productive, authentic conversation. But the reason I'm telling you this today is because that was how I managed to claw back my time, reduce my time spent on calls, wasted doing all this pitching and salesy presenting on live one-to-one Zoom calls, and I was able to almost just reduce the time, and it led to a massive boost in our close rate as well. But I only found this out and had to figure this out because, number one, I could not hire closers, so I couldn't build a sales team in this business here. But I was stuck. I was spending so much time as the salesperson for my business. I was trapped when I was away, meant to be celebrating in Dubai on a yacht, like all those things. We've done all that, right? I was younger and I wanted to do it because that was what I dreamt of as like success, just being able to live and work from anywhere. I've never been one of these guys that's wanted to like rent the cars and do all that stuff, but I wanted to live. I wanted to travel, and Dubai was one of them places that everyone was going at the time. I wanted to go and see what it was about. It's not for me personally. I wouldn't want to live there, but we went to Vegas as well. We went to acquisition.com. That's when I realized, right, if I want to go travel places, I want to go places, meet up with like-minded people and go to learn. And that's what we started doing since. So we went and lived in Cyprus. We went and lived in Marbella. We did all that stuff. So all that stuff was great. But The problem was I was stuck as a key part inside the business still. I was not truly able to step away, and a key part of that was sales. So if you're in that position right now, what I would tell you is, first of all, look at your sales process. Before you think, I need to hire closers, I need to hire a sales team, even if you've got the margins in your business to do that. I worked with a good friend of mine, Josh. I've talked about this story before, where that was happening as well in his business. He was launching a new service or a different service, and he was still stuck as the face of the business. He had to be on sales because he was the guy who knew how to sell, and he sold in a totally different way. As founders do, as you do, as I've done, when you're the face of business, it's very easy, right? You're not really a salesperson because you are the face. You've got their trust already. They know that you can help them, and you've got all the knowledge as well. So you're not just a salesperson that doesn't know nothing about the business. Like if you're selling a car, they don't know anything about the car, but they're able to still actually know all the specifics. You as the business owner are able to know all the specifics. So you're answering all that on the call. Whereas when you hire a salesperson, they may not know all that information. And then all of a sudden you realize, right, we've got a big problem here. The close rate's absolutely tanked. And this is a system issue. It's not actually I need a closer, because the best closer in the world will not be able to pitch the way you can. You understand your business better than everyone. So today's world, we've got video, we can script something, we can build a professional slide deck. If you're going to raise money for a big business, you need a pitch deck. So you present it perfectly. You identify the problems, you prove that you're the solution, and they know because you've already talked to them and related to them on, number one, the target audience. You've related to them on the pain points they're feeling right now and the problems they've got. You remove that pitch and you present it in the best possible way. One and done. And it's one video that will work on autopilot forever for as many people as you hire. If you eventually build out a massive sales team, every single prospect is sent your video, you pitching, the founder, speaking to them, proving to them that this is what they need. And then when they go on to speak to that salesperson, they're already sold. That's a key part, and it's a system that you can build. And I would highly recommend you do it. I do it now for every single service that we've got, every single offer that we've got, even with the gym. We've got a different business, the gym. We've got over 500 members, and it's just a traditional gym membership, right? But they still come in for a gym tour, so that's their call. They speak to someone that, again, is, yes, they're interested in the gym, but they're not qualified as like the best coach in the world. So we've built this professional pitch. They get sent this before they come down for the gym tour, and they're already sold. They're aware of the packages. They know exactly what they need based on their needs, based on their problems. How can they solve it with our gym? Like, I know you may seem that it's just a gym membership, but it's increased our close rate with how many people come down for a gym tour, are already trusting us to come down, and then they want to buy. Because they've listened to me, the founder of the gym, told my story. They've related to it. They've seen the benefits of it. They've seen everything we're trying to do, why this gym exists. So they're sold on it, right? So I would say to you, if you're stuck as a founder on sales calls right now, and you're thinking, do I need to hire a sales team, or do I just want to make my calls so much shorter with a better close rate, where the people that turn up to the call are not totally unaware of what I do or who I am. They have massive respect for me. They trust me, and they're ready to buy. They know what we do. That's the difference this will make. So I hope that makes sense. This story was meant to be more about, me feeling absolutely terrible when I'm seeing everyone else doing really well. And I was stuck literally sitting there having to take calls in the sun, when, yes, that sounds fantastic and it was a dream, right, to be able to work away and work whatever I want. But I realized at the same time my business is not valuable. It's not a business. It's got huge key man risk. It's reliant on me. No one can buy this business. It's not a business. I'm just self-employed with my own business, really. I'd say I'm just glorified self-employed. So that's the harsh truth I had to admit to myself to solve the problem in the first place. Like, admitting it is the first stage of getting out of denial. But that was the reality, and it's a lesson I've learned. So this is the key. It's the first step in terms of fixing that process. The first step is systemize the sales process, and then you can start to plug the holes. And if you need to hire people in the end, you can do. But put this in place first. So I hope this helps. And yeah, this channel is all about growing and scaling a service-based business as we're doing it alongside you. If you've got any questions, comment below, subscribe, and I will see you soon.